Hey guys, this week's video is dedicated in memory of Masha Bas Batsheva. Regards from New York City. We're here for the YJP Shabbaton, as you can hear the noise in the background, and having an amazing time. This week's Torah portion of Parshat Shemot, we begin the second book in the Torah. And we begin the whole story of the Jewish people in Egypt, their enslavement, the birth of Moses, and everything that follows. Jonathan Sachs wrote a very interesting article on this. And he points out that in Freud's last work, in his last book, Moses and Monotheism, Freud tries to prove that Moses was really an Egyptian. No one's really sure why, but that's what he tries to prove. And he shows a parallel between, from different sources, how you see that heroes throughout history seem to all have this common thread, which is a very traumatic childhood. Something happens in their childhood, it's very traumatic. Either they almost die, get thrown in a box, something happens, and then they get saved and they become a hero. He says there's one difference between Moshe's story and the other heroes in history. And that is, usually the hero gets adopted by simple, humble people and then grows up to find out that really their parents are a prince or princess or king or queen and really they're royalty, and then they become the hero. In Moshe's case, it was flipped. It was the exact opposite. He was adopted by the princess of Egypt, Basya, Pharaoh's daughter. And he grew up to find out that really he's a child of slaves, that he's a Jew. And while Freud used this and said it was just a cover-up, really he was an Egyptian, Jonathan Sachs says he's missing the whole point of what the Torah is trying to tell us. Royalty as we see it, power, grandeur, the palace and everything, that's not true royalty. True royalty is having moral courage, standing up for human rights. If Moshe had been a real Egyptian prince, he would have been forgettable. But because he identified with the slaves, because he stood up to Pharaoh, because he stood up for human rights and he had the moral truth, that's when he became a hero. And while Freud was very confused in his own Jewish identity and how it played a role in his life, the message is clear. True royalty, it's not the power and privilege that we say in modern society. The Torah is telling us that true royalty, true power is moral truth. True power is having the courage of standing up for what's right. A child of slaves can be greater than a prince of Egypt. Shabbat Shalom.